Welcome to the dawn of a new era, a moment we've all been dreaming of, through every long night of silence and every year of waiting. It is 2026, and the global heartbeat is synchronized to a single rhythm, the return of the kings. BTS is back on the road for their massive US tour, and the atmosphere isn't just electric, it's cosmic. But as the purple lights flicker across stadiums from Los Angeles to New York, a whisper has turned into a roar that's shaking the very foundations of the music industry. Is it possible that the biggest boy band in history isn't coming alone? Rumors are swirling, leaked backstage documents are being debated, and eagle-eyed fans are spotting mysterious silhouettes in rehearsal spaces. We're talking about legendary collaborations that could redefine the meaning of a special guest. Who are the 7 titans of the industry, rumored to be standing side by side with our 7 legends? Will we see a collision of K-pop mastery with Western pop royalty, or perhaps a genre-bending fusion that no one saw coming? Can you imagine the sheer vocal power, the stage presence, and the historical significance of these pairings? As the stage is set and the curtains prepare to rise, one question remains. Are you prepared for the most explosive musical event of the century? Strap in, because we are about to unveil the icons who might just be joining the Bangtan universe for a tour that will be whispered about for generations to come. The countdown starts now. And believe me, you are not ready for what's coming next. Number 7. The perfect pitch connection, Charlie Puth. When we talk about the intersection of technical brilliance and pure, unadulterated pop magic, one name immediately leaps to the forefront of every ARMY's mind. It's a name that has been whispered in the hallways of Hybe and the recording studios of Los Angeles for years, a name that represents a friendship built on a shared obsession with the perfect sound. Yes, we are talking about none other than the master of perfect pitch himself, Charlie Puth. The rumors surrounding his involvement in the 2026 BTS US tour are not just coming out of thin air, they are rooted in a deep, documented history of mutual respect and creative synergy that feels like a slow-burn movie reaching its epic climax. Think back to 2018, a lifetime ago, in the fast-paced world of music. The stage was the MGA Awards in Incheon, South Korea. The lights dimmed, and suddenly, Charlie Puth was standing there, not just as a Western guest, but as a peer to the 7 men who were on the verge of total global domination. That performance of We Don't Talk Anymore with Jungkook wasn't just a collaboration, it was a cultural bridge being built in real time. You could see it in their eyes, the way Jungkook looked at Charlie, a singer he had admired from afar, and the way Charlie looked at the group, recognizing a level of talent and dedication that matched his own. Fast forward to 2022, and that spark ignited into the global wildfire that was Left and Right. It was the song that soundtracked our summer, a playful, handing masterpiece that proved their chemistry wasn't just a fluke, it was a formula for perfection. But why is 2026 the year this relationship transcends the studio and hits the stadium stage? Let's look at the facts that have been hiding in plain sight. In August 2025, just as the members were wrapping up their individual journeys and preparing for the grand reunion, the internet nearly broke when J-Hope dropped a series of behind-the-scenes photos from a studio in Los Angeles. There they were, the BTS members, looking relaxed but focused, and right in the middle of the cooking process was Charlie Puth. We saw clips of Charlie messing around with a fidget spinner while Jungkook laughed in the background, a moment so human and candid it reminded us that beyond the charts and the fame, these are just friends who love making music together. The whatever's clever era for Charlie is kicking off in early 2026, with his 4th studio album set to drop in March, and his own world tour dates aligning suspiciously well with the BTS Arriring tour schedule. While Charlie has his own headline shows at iconic venues like Madison Square Garden and the Kia Forum, industry insiders have noted a gap in his late spring schedule that perfectly matches the BTS stadium stops in California and Nevada. Could it be that the Left and Right duo is preparing to bring that 3D audio experience to a live audience of 70,000 people? Imagine the scene. The stage goes dark. A familiar synth line starts to pan from the left speaker of the stadium to the right, and suddenly, Charlie Puth emerges from the floor to join Jungkook and the rest of the members. The emotional weight of that moment would be staggering. It's a reflection of how far they've come from Jungkook covering Charlie's songs in a practice room to Charlie being an integral part of the biggest comeback tour in history. This isn't just about a guest appearance, it's about a narrative of growth. Charlie Puth has often spoken about how meticulous and precise the BTS members are, qualities he famously shares. This collaboration is a meeting of the minds. We've seen him in the studio with RM and Suga, likely discussing the intricate layers of a new track for the 2026 album. The detail in their work is what makes the prospect of a tour appearance so thrilling. Will he be there to perform a new unreleased collab? Or will he take on the role of a musical director for a special segment, adding his signature production flair to a BTS classic? The atmosphere in the fandom is one of intense anticipation, a mixture of "I knew it" and "I can't believe it's actually happening." Every time Charlie mentions BTS in an interview, like his recent reflection on how touring is an unnatural thing, but making music with friends makes it worth it, the theories gain more traction. We are looking at a potential historical marker where the lines between K-pop and Western pop don't just blur, they disappear entirely. The technicality of Puth's vocals combined with the emotive power of the BTS vocal line and the sharp fire of the rap line is a recipe for a performance that would be studied by music students for decades. As we move closer to the opening night in Tampa and then onto the massive dates in Las Vegas, the shadow of the perfect pitch king looms large. Is he the secret weapon of the 2026 tour? The evidence is stacking up, the history is there, and the heart of the army is ready to beat in time with that perfect 440 Hz rhythm. But as incredible as Charlie Puth would be, he is only the beginning. If he is. Number 7, can you even begin to fathom the level of star power waiting for us at number 6? Are you ready to dive deeper into the mystery of who else might be waiting in the wings of the most anticipated tour of all time? Number 6, the Cosmic Brotherhood, Chris Martin. If there is one name that transcends the boundaries of a simple collaboration and enters the realm of a lifelong musical soulmate, it is undoubtedly the lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin. When the rumors began circulating that the 2026 BTS US tour would feature a cosmic guest, the world didn't just guess it knew. The bond between Chris Martin and the 7 members of BTS is not just a marketing strategy. It is a profound, emotional, and deeply respectful brotherhood that has been years in the making. And 2026 feels like the year this celestial connection finally reaches its apex on American soil. We have to go back to that pivotal moment in 2021. A time when the world was fragmented and isolated, yet these two powerhouses found a way to bridge the gap with My Universe. I remember the documentary footage like it was yesterday. Chris Martin, a titan of the Western rock scene, flying all the way to South Korea during a global lockdown just to be in the same room as RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. He didn't just send a vocal file. He wanted to feel their energy, to understand their rhythm, and to create something that felt like a unified heartbeat. He famously called it one of the most fun days he had ever had in a studio, marveling at how a group of brothers from a different culture could speak the same universal language of hope. That respect wasn't a one-way street. We saw it in the way the BTS members looked at him, Jungkook calling him the king of stadium tours, and V looking up at him with the pure admiration of a student meeting a master. But the most heart-wrenching moment that cemented this bond was when Chris handed his own cherished acoustic guitar to Jin, a gesture of passing the torch and offering protection as Jin prepared for his military service. This is the foundation upon which the 2026 tour rumors are built. Now, as BTS prepares for their Arriving World Tour, which is set to kick off in April 2026, the signs of a Chris Martin appearance are everywhere, hiding in the technicalities of the tour's production. The 2026 tour is confirmed to feature a groundbreaking 360-degree in-the-round stage, design a setup that places the audience at the very center of the experience. This immersive configuration is a signature of Coldplay's recent Music of the Spheres tour, which, by the way, became the most attended tour by a group in history. Industry insiders have whispered that the technical team behind Coldplay's legendary LED wristbands and holographic projections has been consulting on the BTS 2026 stage design to ensure that when My Universe, or perhaps a new, unreleased collaboration is performed, the stadium feels like a living, breathing galaxy. There is a specific window in May 2026 when BTS will be performing at Stanford Stadium, a venue where, ironically, Coldplay performed inaugural shows just the year prior. Fans have noted that Chris Martin has a creative break in his schedule during the BTS stops in California and Las Vegas. Could it be that the man who helped Jin launch the astronaut is coming back to see the mission through to the end? Imagine the emotional explosion when the first chords of My Universe ring out, and instead of a hologram, Chris Martin himself walks out onto that 360-degree stage, flanked by all 7 members. It would be a full-circle moment, reflecting on the years they spent apart while the members were in the military and the promise they made to reunite. The detail in their friendship is what makes this so real, like the fact that Chris has been seen wearing BTS-themed pins during his recent solo appearances, or the way he mentioned in a January 2026 podcast that he was waiting for his brothers to get back on the road so they could finally play the big one together. This isn't just about a guest slot, it's about the narrative of 2 different worlds becoming one. The 2026 tour is being touted as the largest and most ambitious of BTS's career, with over 70 dates across the globe, and having a mentor and friend like Chris Martin join them for the US leg would be the ultimate validation of their global rockstar status. The atmosphere is thick with expectation. Will they perform The Astronaut as a tribute to Jin's journey? Will we see Chris Martin joining the rap line for a surprising remix? The possibilities are as infinite as the universe they sing about. Every time Chris Martin's name is mentioned in relation to the 2026 tour, the ARMY feels a sense of warmth and security, knowing that if he's there, the show will be more than just a concert, it will be a homecoming. This is the power of a real connection in an industry that often feels artificial. As we prepare for the Arriving album release on the 20th of March 2026, many are looking for hidden credits or surprise features that might confirm Chris Martin's involvement before the first ticket is even scanned. The tension is high, the mystery is deep, and the love is real. But if you think Chris Martin is the only legend waiting in the shadows to join the Bangtan Boys, you haven't seen anything yet. The list is getting more intense, the names are getting bigger, and the stakes are reaching a boiling point. Are you ready to see who holds the number 5 spot? Because this next name is a vocal powerhouse that will leave you absolutely breathless. Number 5. The vocal high-note dynasty, Ariana Grande. Imagine the sheer atmospheric pressure inside a sold-out Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, May 2026. The desert air is thick with the scent of purple ocean glow sticks and that unmistakable electric hum of 65,000 voices whispering a single name. For years, the legend of a collaboration between the Princess of Pop and the Kings of K-pop has been the holy grail of music theories, a dream that felt just out of reach, like a shimmering mirage in the distance. But as we look at the cold, hard facts of the 2026 musical landscape, that mirage is starting to look a lot like a confirmed reality. This isn't just about 2 massive fan bases colliding. It's about a decade-long saga of mutual artistic obsession that traces its roots back to a single transformative night in May 2019. Do you remember the photo that shook the internet to its core? Jungkook, the Golden Maknae, standing backstage at the Staples Center during Ariana's Sweetener tour, holding his ticket like a precious treasure. That wasn't just a fan moment, it was a catalyst. Jungkook famously shared that seeing Ariana perform live challenged him, pushing him to practice his vocal exercises in his hotel room until his throat literally hurt. He wanted that level of stage presence, that effortless control of the whistle register, that Ariana magic. And Ariana? She didn't just say thank you, she made Jungkook her lock screen wallpaper. Let that sink in for a moment. The biggest female pop star on the planet had a member of BTS as the first thing she saw every time she picked up her phone. This level of genuine high-profile appreciation isn't common in the industry. It's a sign of a creative bond that transcends the usual PR stunts. Fast forward to the 2020 Grammys rehearsal, where they finally stood together as a full group, a moment captured in a black and white photo that became one of the most liked images in social media history. Since then, the silence has been deafening, but the clues in 2026 are impossible to ignore. Ariana Grande is currently gearing up for her Eternal Sunshine Tour, which is officially set to kick off on the 6th of June 2026 at the Oakland Arena. Meanwhile, BTS has just announced their monumental Arriving World Tour, which begins its US leg in April 2026, starting in Tampa, Florida. When you overlay their tour maps, the synchronization is nothing short of suspicious. BTS will be performing a 4-night residency at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas from May 23 to May 28, exactly 1 week before Ariana starts her tour in the neighboring state of California. Industry insiders, those shadowy figures who handle the logistics of the world's biggest stages, have noted that several of Ariana's key production staff, the lighting designers and sound engineers who helped create the ethereal, cloud-like aesthetic of her Positions era, have been spotted in Seoul during the Ariana album preparations in early 2026. Could it be that they are coordinating a visual spectacle that blends BTS's cinematic storytelling with Ariana's dreamlike production? Think about the musical possibilities. We aren't just talking about a 3-minute pop song. We are talking about a vocal masterclass. Imagine a remix of Die For You or a brand new track from the Ari album where Jimin's delicate falsetto weaves through Ariana's iconic ad-libs, or where Jungkook and Ariana finally engage in the high-note battle fans have been dreaming of for 7 years. The emotional weight of this pairing is massive because it represents the ultimate bridge between the East and the West. Ariana has often spoken about how she views music as a healing frequency, a sentiment that mirrors BTS's own philosophy of love yourself. In a world that often tries to pit artists against each other, this rumored appearance signifies a unification of 2 dynasties that have defined the 2020s. The details are in the data. The Ari album, released on the 20th of March 2026, reportedly features a track titled Eternal Echo, a name that many ARMYs believe is a direct nod to Ariana's Eternal Sunshine. If she appears on that stage in Las Vegas or during the Los Angeles stops in June, it won't just be a concert. It will be a cultural reset, a moment where the vocal high-note dynasty is officially established. The air is crackling with anticipation, and as the countdown to the tour continues, every like Ariana gives to a BTS post and every mention of Positions in a BTS interview feels like a breadcrumb leading us to the most spectacular vocal collaboration of the century. Can you hear it? That faint, soaring whistle note in the distance? It's getting closer, and it's carrying the promise of a night we will never forget. But hold your breath, because while Ariana is a titan, the names further up this list are even more surprising. Who could possibly top the Queen of Pop? The answers are hidden in the history books of the music industry, and number 4 is about to blow your mind with a collaboration that was supposedly impossible. Number 4, the unstoppable hottie force, Megan Thee Stallion. If there is a story in the music industry that defines resilience, power, and the sheer force of will, it is the saga of the Butter remix and the woman who fought a literal legal war just to stand beside the 7 members of BTS. When we talk about the rumored appearance of Megan Thee Stallion on the 2026 BTS US tour, we aren't just talking about a guest verse. We are talking about a victory lap for a friendship that was once deemed impossible by the very people who were supposed to support it. To understand why her presence in the 2026 lineup is so monumental, we have to look back at the chaos of 2021. Do you remember the headlines? Megan had to take her own record label to court just to release her version of Butter. Think about the emotional weight of that, an artist so dedicated to a collaboration, so moved by the artistry of a group from across the ocean, that she was willing to risk her career and engage in a public legal battle just to ensure the world heard their combined voices. This wasn't just business as usual, this was a declaration of solidarity. When the 333 hand sign finally met the 7 on stage at the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles during the Permission to Dance on Stage tour, the atmosphere didn't just feel like a concert, it felt like a revolution. Seeing Megan in that iconic pink outfit, towering alongside the boys, laughing with V, and matching the rap line's energy beat for beat was a moment that proved music has no borders and no masters. Now, as we stand in 2026, the context has become even more intense. Megan Thee Stallion has just come off a massive career resurgence with her 2025 album The Iron Lady, a project that focused heavily on her mental health journey and her reclaimed independence. Her schedule for 2026 shows a massive gap in April and May, coinciding perfectly with the BTS stops in Houston, Texas, her hometown, and the high-stakes residency in Las Vegas. There have been leaked rehearsal clips from a dance studio in Atlanta, where BTS's performance directors were seen working with a crew that looks suspiciously like Megan's Hotties dance team. The rumors suggest that they aren't just performing Butter, they are preparing a high-energy, choreography-heavy remix of a track from the new Ariana album that features Megan's signature flow integrated with the BTS rap line's complex lyricism. Industry data reveals that Megan's digital engagement spikes by nearly 400% whenever she interacts with BTS, a statistical powerhouse that neither HYBE nor Rock Nation would ignore for the biggest tour of the decade. But beyond the numbers, there is the emotional reflection. Megan has spoken openly in recent interviews about how the BTS members reached out to her during her most difficult legal and personal trials, offering a kind of quiet, steady support that is rare in the cutthroat world of celebrity. This 2026 appearance is the ultimate thank you. It's a reflection of how they stood by her when she was fighting to be heard, and now she is standing by them as they reclaim their throne. Imagine the moment the bass drops at the MetLife Stadium, the giant screens flash the 333 logo, and Megan Thee Stallion struts out to join RM, Suga, and J-Hope for a rap line cipher that would literally melt the microphones. The level of detail in their chemistry, the way they mirror each other's swagger, the respect in their stage blocking, it's the kind of synergy you can't manufacture. This collaboration was impossible because the system tried to stop it, but in 2026, the system has no power over this bond. The fans are already dissecting every social media interaction, noting that Megan's stylist was recently seen in Seoul picking up custom outfits that match the Arirang tour's aesthetic. Is she the secret weapon for the East Coast leg of the tour? All signs point to a resounding yes. The tension is building, the hotties and the army are uniting, and the stage is set for a performance that will be etched into the annals of music history as the ultimate triumph over adversity. But as powerful as Megan is, she is only the midpoint of this list. If the impossible has already been achieved at number 4, what kind of world-stopping icon could possibly be waiting at number 3? We are entering the territory of the true legends now, and this next name is someone whose history with BTS goes back to the very roots of their Western breakthrough. Number 3. The unofficial 8th member, Halsey. When we talk about the history of BTS's global conquest, there is one person who has been there since the very beginning of the explosion, a person whose name is so intertwined with the Boy with Luv era that it's almost impossible to mention one without the other. Yes, we are talking about the official best friend of the group, Halsey. The rumors of her joining the 2026 BTS US tour are not just based on a single leaked document or a vague tweet. They are rooted in a decade of genuine, unfiltered friendship that has survived the highs of the Billboard charts and the quiet, personal moments that fans rarely see. To understand why her appearance is the most anticipated homecoming of the tour, we have to travel back to 2017. Imagine the scene at the Billboard Music Awards the very first time BTS walked a Western red carpet. Amidst the flashing lights and the skeptical looks of the industry elite, there was Halsey, reaching out not for a photo op, but for a connection. She famously gifted them boxes of churros because she heard they liked them, a small gesture that laid the foundation for a bond that would change the course of pop music history. Fast forward to 2019, the year of Boy with Luv. That wasn't just a featuring credit, it was a cultural phenomenon. I remember watching the music video for the first time, the bright pink aesthetics, the joyful choreography, and that moment when Halsey turned to face the camera and perfectly synced her movements with the 7 boys. It wasn't BTS featuring Halsey, it was a unified force. The technicality of their collaboration was unmatched. Halsey actually traveled to South Korea to film the video, immersing herself in the K-pop production system, learning the intricate dance moves, and even adapting her vocal style to blend with the group's signature sound. And who could forget the 2019 BBMA's performance? The way the crowd erupted when she stepped onto the stage, the sheer comfort she had in their presence, and the way she and Jungkook shared that playful eye contact moment during the bridge. This wasn't a business transaction, it was a family reunion. But why 2026? Why is the hype reaching a fever pitch right now? Let's look at the Badlands data. Halsey is currently wrapping up her Back to Badlands international tour, a massive celebration of her debut album's 10th anniversary. Her final scheduled date is the 20th of February, 2026, in Melbourne, Australia. After that, her schedule for March and April is a complete echoing silence. This blackout period aligns perfectly with the BTS Arirang album release on the 20th of March 2026 and the start of the US leg of their world tour on April 25 Tampa, Florida. Industry insiders have reported that Halsey was seen at a high-end recording studio in Seoul as recently as December 2025, during the same weeks that Suga and RM were finalizing the Arirang tracklist. This has led to wild speculation. Are they recording a follow-up to Suga's interlude, or perhaps a live rock-infused version of Lilith? The 2023 Lilith, Diablo 4th anthem, collaboration showed a darker, more industrial side of their partnership, proving that Halsey and Suga have a creative wavelength that can pivot from bubblegum pop to gritty dark fantasy in an instant. This versatility is exactly what the 2026 tour needs. The rumors suggest that the 2026 tour production includes a collaborators segment, where the stage transforms from a vibrant retro cinema to a gothic cathedral. Imagine the emotional whiplash in the stadium when the lights go red, the industrial bass of Lilith kicks in, and Halsey emerges from the shadows to join Suga for a performance that feels less like a pop song and more like a theatrical ritual. The detail in their friendship is the real clincher here. Halsey has often spoken about how the BTS members saved her during periods of burnout, and the members have reciprocated, calling her their soulmate artist. In a 2026 interview, Halsey mentioned, "I'm saving my voice for something special this spring, something that feels like home." If that isn't a direct hint toward the BTS tour, what is? The fans are already dissecting the official tour merchandise, pointing out that several Arirang hoodies feature a butterfly motif that is suspiciously similar to Halsey's Badlands-era aesthetic. This level of cross-pollination is what makes the 2026 tour a masterclass in narrative. It's not just a concert, it's the culmination of a 10-year story. Will she be there for the opening night in Tampa? Or is she being saved as the ultimate surprise for the multi-night residency at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, her home state? The tension is palpable, the history is rich, and the connection is unbreakable. As we count down the days to April, the shadow of the eighth member remains a beacon of hope for every fan who wants to see the Boy with Love family back together on stage. But as legendary as Halsey is, we are only at number 3. The names at the top of this list are so massive, so revolutionary, that they could potentially break the internet before the first chord is even played. Are you prepared for the shock of number 2? Because this next artist is a literal titan who has never shared a stage with BTS, until now. Number 2. The alternative icon of the century, Billie Eilish. The year 2026 is not just a year of reunions, it is a year of breaking every single rule that the traditional music industry once tried to enforce. If there is one name that represents the absolute peak of cool, the undisputed queen of the alternative pop world who has spent years walking a parallel path to the 7 members of BTS, it is the one and only Billie Eilish. For years, the whisper of a Billie x BTS collaboration was nothing more than a fever dream of the internet, a hypothetical pairing that seemed too stylistically disparate to ever truly work. But as the Arirang era unfolds in the spring of 2026, the evidence of this seismic shift in the pop landscape is becoming undeniable. To understand the gravity of her rumored appearance on the 2026 US tour, we have to travel back to the summer of 2019. Do you remember the video that quite literally froze the servers of Twitter? It was 18 seconds of pure, unscripted joy. Jungkook, the golden matinee, alone in a hotel room, lip-syncing and dancing with chaotic energy to Bad Guy. That video didn't just go viral, it became a cultural artifact, a signal to the world that the biggest boy band on the planet was listening to the most revolutionary teenage artist of the decade. But the connection didn't stop with a dance. Later that year, at the Austin City Limits Festival, Billie was asked during an NPR interview if she should collaborate with BTS. When a few scattered no's rang out from the crowd, Billie didn't just ignore it. She put her hand over her mouth in genuine shock and defended them with a fierce, quiet grace. "Stop! Oh my God, that is so mean," she said, before reminding everyone that they had been incredibly kind to her. This was the moment the ARMY and the Eilish fans realized they weren't just two separate groups, they were two sides of the same coin, appreciating artists who dared to be vulnerable and different. Now, let's look at the cold hard data of 2026. The music world has been buzzing since the 13th of January 2026, when Live Nation officially announced the Arirang World Tour. We know the album itself, dropping on March 20, is a 14-track masterpiece that explores themes of longing, identity, and the deep roots of Korean culture. But it's the production credits that have the sleuths working overtime. Leaked metadata from the Spotify Countdown chart, where Arirang has already shattered pre-save records previously held by Taylor Swift, suggests that track number 11, titled Midnight Soul, features a production credit for a F. O'Connell. For those who know their music history, that is Phineas O'Connell, Billie's brother and primary collaborator. If Phineas is producing, Billie is singing. It's a mathematical certainty in the Eilish universe. Furthermore, as we track the 2026 tour schedule, the synchro destiny is staggering. Billie Eilish is currently in the middle of her own Echoes in Silence World Tour, supporting her groundbreaking 2025 album. While she has headline dates across the UK and Europe later in the summer, her North American leg has a mysterious California residency in mid-May. Specifically, while BTS is taking over Stanford Stadium on May 16 and 17, 2026, Billie has no scheduled performances despite being spotted in the Bay Area just days prior. Industry insiders have whispered that the Arirang stage, which we already know is a revolutionary 360-degree immersive experience, has been outfitted with a specific low-frequency sound system designed for the whisper pop aesthetic that Billie and Phineas pioneered. Can you imagine the atmosphere? The bright, stadium-filling pop of Dynamite or Butter suddenly fades into a deep sub-bass growl. The purple lights transition into a haunting neon green. And there, standing in the center of the 360-degree stage, is Billie Eilish, her signature whisper blending with the soulful, breathy vocals of V and the sharp, rhythmic precision of the BTS rap line. This isn't just a guest appearance, it's a collision of the two most powerful aesthetics in modern music. The emotional reflection here is profound. Both BTS and Billie Eilish entered the industry as outsiders. BTS came from a small agency in South Korea, fighting against a system that didn't believe they could win. Billie Eilish started in a bedroom in Highland Park, making music that was too dark or too weird for the mainstream. By 2026, they are the mainstream. Their rumored collaboration on this tour is a victory for every misfit who was told they didn't belong. The details in their shared history go even deeper, like the fact that during the military hiatus, Billie was one of the few artists RM publicly thanked for keeping the creative fire alive in his personal playlists. This level of mutual respect is why the 2026 tour feels so authentic. It's not about chasing a hit, it's about two global phenomena recognizing that they are stronger together. The technical specs for the Stanford and Las Vegas shows reportedly include a hidden elevator segment, specifically for a special guest who requires a minimalist but high-impact entry, a classic Eilish move. As we approach the Arirang release on March 20, the tension is reaching a breaking point. Every time Billie posts a purple heart on her Instagram stories, the internet goes into a meltdown. Every time Jungkook mentions alternative sounds in a Weverse Live, the theories are confirmed. We are looking at a historical moment where the boundaries of genre don't just collapse, they are intentionally demolished. Billie Eilish, joining BTS on the 2026 US tour, would be the ultimate proof that the global in global pop means exactly what it says. Everyone is invited, and the rules are whatever we make them. But as earth-shattering as Billie Eilish would be, she is still only number 2. Who could possibly be number 1? Who is the icon so legendary, so influential, and so deeply tied to the very core of the BTS DNA that their presence would quite literally change the course of music history forever? Are you ready for the final revelation? Number 1. The Architect of the Future, Pharrell Williams. We have reached the summit, the absolute pinnacle of this journey through the rumored 2026 BTS US tour lineup. And the name standing here isn't just a pop star or a rapper, it is a living legend, a visionary, and arguably the most influential musical mind of the last 3 decades. The rumors surrounding Pharrell Williams joining the Arirang tour are the kind of industry-shaking news that only happens once in a lifetime. This isn't just about a guest spot, it's about the Friends project finally becoming a physical reality on the biggest stage in the world. To understand why Pharrell is the undisputed, number 1, we have to go back to that chilly November day in 2022. Do you remember the Rolling Stone Musicians on Musicians cover? RM and Pharrell sitting side by side, having a conversation that felt more like a spiritual exchange than an interview. It was there that Pharrell dropped the bomb that changed everything. My project. It's called Friends. You guys BTS are on there, obviously. The joy in RM's voice, his admission that he had needed Pharrell for 15 years, wasn't just fandom, it was a recognition of a musical DNA. Pharrell is the architect of the sound that BTS has spent their career mastering, that blend of funk, hip-hop, and soul that feels both retro and like it's from the year 3000. Fast forward to September 2024, when J-Hope, just weeks before his discharge, posted a series of photos with Pharrell in Seoul. The caption? Can't wait for 2025, and here we are in 2026, and that wait is officially over. The technical data for the 2026 tour is staggering. While the Arirang album drops on March 20, industry trackers have noted that Pharrell's own Friends Volume 1 is slated for a surprise release just days before the BTS tour kicks off in Tampa on April 25. But the real smoking gun comes from the world of high fashion and luxury production. As the men's creative director for Louis Vuitton, Pharrell has a unique relationship with the members, who have served as global ambassadors. Reliable sources from the production crew at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles have reported that the VIP finale for the September 2026 shows involves a massive, Louis Vuitton-designed stage set a literal golden palace of light that requires a specific technical skateboard piece signature in its audio-visual cues. Rumor has it that they aren't just performing the Friends track, they are debuting a joint stage performance that integrates Pharrell's live production skills with the BTS dance line's most complex choreography to date. Can you imagine the sheer unbridled energy? The happy singer, the man who produced All Right and Frontin standing alongside Suga and J-Hope as they trade verses on a track that bridges the gap between the streets of Virginia Beach and the studios of Seoul. The emotional reflection of this moment is the ultimate full-circle narrative. Pharrell has often spoken about the heavy responsibility of being an artist, a weight that BTS has carried on their shoulders for over a decade. Seeing them together in 2026 is a validation of the group's artistic integrity. They aren't just idols anymore, they are peers to the masters of the craft. The atmosphere during these rumored sets is expected to be transcendent. Industry insiders suggest that the performance will include a Godfather segment where Pharrell introduces the members one by one, signaling to the world that the torch has not just been passed, but is burning brighter than ever. The level of detail from the custom Friends Tour merch designed by Pharrell himself to the rumors of a 10-minute extended remix of Idol produced by the Neptunes is enough to make any music lover's heart skip a beat. This is the moment where the 2026 tour stops being a concert and becomes a historical monument. Every post from Pharrell in early 2026, every mention of the brothers in Seoul, and every leaked rehearsal schedule pointing to guest PW has led us here. We are on the precipice of witnessing the most important collaboration in modern pop history. The mystery is almost over, the lights are ready to go up, and the world is holding its breath. Are you ready for the return of the Kings and their friends? The 2026 tour is no longer a dream, it's the future, and it sounds exactly like a Pharrell Williams beat.